where Singed is still, he has not been nerfed, he has not been hit by the, nerf, but his ultimate still catches the, reduces the effectiveness of disables. So we'll see how this plays out. The game lobby is up, the loading screen is there. Something that I love to talk about whenever we get into these matchups is going to be the skin battle and who actually has the advantage in that regard. Let's wait for this one to pull it up. We should be going very, very shortly. And then once you see the compositions, I definitely want to hear your thoughts. I want to know, what do you think of the group? What do you think of the picks that you're currently seeing on your screen right now? The loading screen is up. We are into the game. We are into the matchup. And this is what we have all been waiting for. Welcome to the League of Legends Italian launch. My name is Quickshot once again. In the blue team, we have members of the community. You can see they are Community 1, Community 2, Community 3, Community 4, and Community 5. I'm going to do the best I can to make this, easy on you. And in order to do so, I'm actually just going to stick to talking about the champion, because names, obviously, I don't know who is who, and I just need to stick to, what champion these guys are playing. So let's have a very, very quick look at the summoner spells. Gangplank is in the jungle with Smite and Heal. We have Draven in the top lane. Let's see if we can arrange these things. We'll have Singed there. Let's go Needly mid. Nivea. I'm just tidying up the... oh, bugger. Now, who's going where? Because that's Gangplank in the jungle. So who's the support? Is that going to be support Needly? Right, well, we'll wait to see how this plays out, because I got no idea who is going where. Because, as we rightfully pointed out, you've got a Ghost and Revive Caitlyn. Alright, Ghost, Revive. You've got Teleport, Ghost, Singed. And we see the members of the community team, they've gone for an early invade. They're trying to sneak their way into the opposing team's jungle. But it's not really going to work out for them because, at the moment, it's just both teams swapping, both teams moving around the map. I'm definitely going to have to find out which Rioter has decided to go for Ghost Revive. Maybe, hurl some abuse their way, because seriously, Ghost Revive? I mean, maybe it's game breaking, maybe it's new, hey, maybe it's OP. Who are we to judge? Let's wait for the gameplay to steal out. So at the moment, we can see an invade there from the Riot team members. The community team, they're moving up as well. They're a little less convinced about the steal, so they're not actually going to go for that one. Going to jump over to Gangplank and the rest of the Rioters as they're now up here, and they're going to start pulling this blue buff. Smite down very, very early, so not using it to secure up, using it just instead to get as much damage down quickly as is possible. Neatly hanging around, and we can see Wukong has stolen the blue. So nothing lost, nothing gained, but very, very interestingly, we have a teleport into the top lane. So Singed really, really wanting to get up there and make the most of the early game pressure that he has already had. Now the Riot game members, they have decided to group up here in the bottom. Gangplank is about to run into two. He gets chunked down. We'll see how much of the hook misses. Community member Thresh simply does not land it, and you cannot afford to do that. That would have been first blood. What is the cooldowns for Thresh? We'll see 7 seconds left on that death sentence. There's just not enough time for him to pull himself back into that one. Now we're going to jump over to Volibear very, very quickly, because he's about to run into members of the community. Damage is down. This is a 3-on-2, but the Volibear passive counts as one champion. The death sentence hooks, and it hooks into Caitlyn. He pulls himself forward. First blood. Primo Sangue goes down. So well played. And that, I believe, is just... well, there you go. Primo Sangue, ladies and gentlemen. First blood for community. They pick one up against Riot. Thresh goes down. Ignite is out. Needly is so low. There's no heal. He goes down. Second kill kicks up. While that's happening, Singed went down in the top lane, but they ended up trading. That was Darius and Singed going, back and forth, and just so well played. It's a dramatic start to this game. And it's definitely something that we've been wanting to see. I'm going to stick with Gangplank as he's moving towards this bottom lane. Let's decide to go back up. 3-1 right now. Community team are in the driving seat. They are in a stronger position in this particular game. They've definitely got... where are the kills right now? So we're Nivea, Singed, and on Thresh. Primo Sangue going to community member number 4. He's actually even farming up CS. You can see a little bit of gold. Still hasn't spent the money from that first blood. He's going to want to go back. Ooh, the death sentence goes up, but it did not manage to catch anybody. So back to the items and keep a close tab on when that rejuvenation bead probably gets upgraded to... well, we'll see what he wants to go. I'm not going to make predictions in a community game because we have no idea, but very, very interestingly, it is a support Volibear. So Volibear down in this bottom lane, Volibear versus Caitlyn, it's going to be an aggressive lane for sure. And you have to feel that if Volibear can get a couple more levels and get those Thunder Claws up, he may be actually very, very scary. Going to be difficult to deal with. We're going to follow the top lane for a brief moment as we see Darius and Singed, both champions having the ability to apply bleed to their opponents. Get that poison trail ticking or get the hemorrhage ticking away. He's putting a lot of pressure on their opponents. Wukong is moving up for the gank. Let's jump back up to Singed and we'll see if this one can actually get set up. Wukong's coming in. They're going to go in, but there's no fling available. And Wukong's just effectively going to walk away from that one. Absolutely clean and safe. No problems at all. Jump down to Volibear. He's just going to flip the cannon creep closer towards Caitlyn, allow her to CS a tiny bit easier. The CS numbers fairly even across the board, but it's very, very early on this matchup right now. Gangplank is moving up into the top lane. They've gone aggressive. Apprehend was available from Darius, but oh no, he had used it already. So there's the cooldown. It just became available. I'm going to carry on just putting some CS down, and Wukong was sniffing around, but he did decide to back off. So a little bit of a slower pace now that we've gone to the lanes. And that early advantage, that gold that was earned from those kills hasn't really been spent. I mean, Thresh, he's still in lane at 5.5 minutes, sitting on 1,090 gold. I want to see what Community Member 4 decides to do with that gold, because like I said, you know, if he had managed to pick up the likes of a Philosopher's Stone earlier, it just would have been ticking over and it would have allowed him to pull further and further ahead. He's sneaking off to the side. He's waiting to set up a death sentence. Does decide to just go in and steal the souls of his enemies. Currently on 7. That's obviously going to build up his magic, his ability power, as well as his armor. Thresh, a champion that does not gain armor per level. Instead, he has to give it through the souls. And those souls will randomly drop within 1,900 units of Thresh. So those little glowing green orbs, they can be seen by your enemy. And if you do see them, it does also mean that there is a Thresh within 1,900 units of you. So you need to be very, very careful and aware of that. Some interesting facts about his hook. It is the only spell in the game that allows you to look in one direction and cast the spell in the other. Volibear went very, very low. Ignite was ticking, but his passive kicks in. And that's just going to pull his HP very, very high. I just missed that engagement. I believe that was a Thresh hook that set it up. So I'll keep my eyes on the bottom lane. If community member number 4 on Thresh goes aggressive, he may decide to try go for some more kills. Now we'll see. Does not manage to get in there, doesn't set up any kills, and I'm not quite sure what that little pop-up means because I didn't know. Now we can see Thresh in the middle lane. He's gone very aggressive, neatly forced a flash, gonna get that passive up, plus one more heal, carries on running. Will they get the kill though? The lantern went down. That was just a fake out because you can't do anything. Lands the kill, and that's a double. That's 2 kills now for Thresh. So well played as Anivia now replaces, moves back towards the middle lane. Riot Games is being stomped, and their own game right now, 4-1. They're 2,100 gold behind, and Thresh is just terrifying. After another kill, he is sitting in lane right now, 1,600 gold in his back pocket, has still not recalled. And I gotta think, what is he gonna build? Where is he going with this money? Does he want to go AD Thresh? What does he want to do? And we'll see how this does actually transpire, because he's about to go back and spend some of that well-earned money. I'm very interested to see. Immediately picks up the Sightstone and some boots. So gonna go for some more presence. Slightly different support that we're seeing. If you get that early kill, you tend to see the professional players pick up the GP10 because it allows you to escalate further, right? Picking up the Ruby Sightstone is going to do very good because it's going to allow him to get very, very good early vision on the dragon, on the buffs and things like that. But it's not going to allow him to pull further ahead unless they make use of that vision. So, on the assumption that he goes aggressive with wards, that will play into his favor. But if he continues to play relatively passively, then of course it's not going to be that good. We are starting to see some disparities in the CS. Our Caitlyn player, and I say our because I am on the side of Riot Games, is falling very far behind in terms of CS. Gangplank is going to get caught out. Where is the death sentence? Smite is available. Crushing blow comes down. The sentence hooks. He pulls in. Bullet time's out. Gangplank's going to go down. There's no ignite. A lantern again and one more slash. 3 kills for Thresh. And boy, Thresh is looking scary right now. Let's jump back over to him as he returns to lane. Caitlyn maybe a little bit behind enemy lines. If he gets caught by a Thresh hook, he's going to be in trouble. But instead, Thresh decides to back away. Pulls the lantern up. Was thinking about going aggressive. They are going to go aggressive. The death sentence goes wide. And that means that Riot to number 1, played by Caitlyn, gets away to safety. Needly is going to try to put some poke and some pressure down, but unfortunately, Caitlyn Needly coming up against a Wukong and a Thresh. It's a very scary prospect. Luckily, there was no Cyclone available for that Wukong, so the Monkey King simply could not put more pressure down. He could not actually dive in with the ultimate and set up a kill. Darius did go very, very low. Where's Darius? Wrong key from me. In the middle lane, that was a lot of damage from Anivia coming down. Let's have a look at Anivia. See, he's setting himself up. Darius is in trouble. The stun lands and he's just going to get choked. He flashes to safety. How on earth did he survive? He put himself away. He put himself so much further. He manages to get away, but the damage going down now onto Riot number 3 is up. The stun lands as well, and community member number 2 is putting on a show. This is Frogger number 2, ladies and gentlemen. He is simply pulling out all the stops and making it known that community members can play too. So Needly currently sitting 0 and 2. Needly gets caught out once again from the damage. We're going to stick with him because if he lands a good stun, he's going to... The flash comes out, the Q... Done. I mean, just... Yeah, perfect. I'm at a complete loss for words from that particular play. Manages to jump forward, throws on the Glacial Storm, the ultimate. Let's actually take a moment, ladies and gentlemen, to look at what it would be in Italian. Tempesta glaciale. I got to remember that the entire stream is following off my camera feed, so I can't have too many of those moments because, of course, everybody is watching it right now, both the English and the Italian stream. But nevertheless, a very good flash. Tempesta glaciale, something like that, something along those lines. I'm destroying Italian. But nevertheless, BF Sword has been completed for Misfortune. 14 CS advantage over Caitlyn, currently sitting on 25. Going to return to lane, and that single Doran's is all that he has to work with. Those lashes coming out from the death sentence Thresh. Remember, the longer he charges up the passive of that Q, the more damage it is going to deal. The death sentence hooks, that goes in deep. Is the box available? Is he going to use it? They don't even need it, and Thresh picks himself up the 4th kill. Takes a turret shot for his troubles, but wow, Thresh is just putting on a clinic. We are definitely going to have to get some sort of interview with that guy later. And Darius is moving to lane, puts the upper hand down, and that's a problem, man. You don't have the HP. Community member 5 is going to go in. Ghost is out. Cyclone comes down. Fling, where is it? We still haven't used it. Singed gets away. Ignite ticking is not going to be enough, but he runs into a Gangplank. Gangplank needs the parlay. They're so low. Carry on chasing GP. You can get this one. He does have his ultimate available. Puts it down, and I don't know where on earth that ultimate went because I think it missed entirely. Singed is going huge. Singed is going to get this kill. Singed picks up the kill and runs away with it. How on earth did community member number 5 pull that one off? Riot to number 2. You are so lucky you are a nameless face right now because you, son, just got outplayed. Singed going huge. 9-1 up. The community members are simply destroying the Riot game team right now, and this is a one-sided affair. 5,000 gold difference between these two teams. Support Volibear simply not pulling out the stops, not being able to put any sort of authority on this bottom lane. And community member number 1, the Misfortune, having a fairly passive game, only 3 assists, but doing very, very well in terms of CS. We're going to jump back up to the Needly matchup here in the mid lane. Needly versus Anivia. It's fairly, I mean, okay, 20 CS is a big difference, and you've got Anivia 201 to Needly's 59 CS, but take a look at this. Thresh is sniffing around. If he lands a good death sentence, there is going to be trouble. We've seen they do like to go in. We're going to jump up to Singed as he simply runs away from the Gangplank and the Darius and puts a lot of damage down onto them. He's got that Giant's Belt as well as the Catalyst, the Protector, up and available. Thresh is now positioning himself. He does realize they're standing there in a ward. You can see Anivia's positioning as well now. We'll see if this fight breaks out. Community member number 5 still continuing to run around the map, and let's go and have a look at Wukong waiting in the wings. Italy could be in trouble. It's a lot of damage. Really good play from Anivia there, just throwing out the E, and while it's traveling, puts the ultimate down. Stun misses. Bullet time comes across, and they're trying to make some plays. Death sentence through the wall. The death sentence hooks. He pulls himself. The play lands. Now the box is up. 99% slower. The double up picks up the kill. Oh my word. Thresh You beauty! Absolute monster, tearing them apart up in the top lane as I'm busy zooming in on Gangplank. Singed gets taken down. Gangplank goes down to Singed. That's a 2 versus 1 lane. Singed just using the Insanity Potion and outplaying 2 Rioters, securing himself some kills. That's the 11th kill on the board for anyone that watches cricket. That is the Nelson score, 1-1-1. And it's definitely a score that is benefiting members of the community right now. The story though is Thresh. We're going to stick with him. Box is down, so there's no ultimate available, but he doesn't need it. Manages to land the lash. The death sentence hooks onto Caitlyn. He's going to pull himself in, immediately follows it up with the flay. The slow is on. Caitlyn's going to be the first to fall. Now they turn their attention onto the bear. The bear's done a fairly good job at putting damage down, but he simply goes back in. Going to rely on the passive. The death sentence lands again. That's 2 for 2. Double kill coming down. That's a Doppia Occisione. Doppia Occisione. I'm going to try my best to say that one, but like I said, Italian, not my language, ladies and gentlemen. Doppia Occisione. Going to stick with Thresh. The flay goes out. It doesn't manage to land. Is he going to get the death sentence done? He will get dropped. The stun! Manages to save Needly. Needly gets the killing spree, but now the chase is on. Here comes Wukong. The Cyclone is up. That's going to buy time for Misfortune. The slam dunk comes down from Darius. That's going to put some damage away, but Misfortune manages to survive. The bleed's ticking away, but it's not going to be enough to pick up the kill. And community once again just tearing apart members of Riot. They pick up 3 kills there in that little engage for only losing 1. But very, very key is that huge chunk of gold that goes over to the members of Riot. If it can help, it's definitely going to, it's been spent on a Negatron cloak, so I'm unsure how I feel about this. Needly was the one that got that killing spree bonus, plus 500 gold. He spent it on a defensive item to survive the burst that is coming down from Anivia. So that is all fair and good, and that's going to help against Singed as well. However, Wukong and Misfortune that are just going to be pounding away with all that physical damage, they're going to be the ones really putting the pressure down. And you see, Javelin toss to Singed, it's going to delay the recall, but that's all it's going to do. It's just going to annoy him, and it's going to frustrate him and say, well, you stopped me recalling for a little while. Riot going to get vision there on the dragon. There's community member number 4 being played by Thresh, or rather Thresh being played by community member 4. Can I get some vision on members of Riot and start to back away? Have a look at the gold right now. There is the gold numbers on the bottom of your screen, so you can see the big earn is 5,000 gold, but take a look at this. The support player for community has 4,600 in comparison to 2,300 of his opposing number, and 2,600, but the hook lands, pulls Needle in, the double up is there. Now Darius is picking a fight, but that's again 3. The flame misses, but the toss does not. He goes all flippity floppity, as D-Man would say. There is no bullet time available. Why is it being used? Because it is on cooldown. Now we see the ultimate from Gangplank. That's very, very good. Going to allow them some zone control and prevent members of Riot from picking a fight. But take a look at the story. Anivia wants blood, and Anivia is joining the party right now. We need a good stun out of him. Gangplank's going to go down to the ultimate plus the Yi. Now Caitlyn has been hooked by Thresh. Thresh still alive. The stun goes down. That shuts down Caitlyn. We're going to stick with Needly now. The flash forward comes from Anivia. He's going to carry on chasing. The damage of a time is not enough, but Wukong wants blood. He's going to get it. Nimbus strike. Crushing blow. Dead Needly. 4 members of Riot are down, and Anivia is now going to carry on putting the pressure onto this bottom turret. 2 towers to 1. They're just going to pick up this final outer turret once this next creep wave pushes in here, and the members of Riot Games have simply been destroyed. Surrender vote will be available in 20 minutes, and I wonder if they are going to pull that card. Darius is going to think about picking a battle here. He's working towards an Aegis of the Legion, and he's so far behind that he cannot build any defensive, aggressive items. He's going for the team aura, and we see Singed hanging around, thinking about it, but decides against it at the end of the day, puts a ward down, and he's going to back away to safety. We're going to stick with Thresh and see where he goes. He's got that Aegis of the Legion completed. The Sight Stone is there, as well as his boots, Ionian Boots of Lucidity. They're all standing on a ward. The death sentence is definitely going to catch. They're waiting for the rest of the members. Cyclone's available. Thresh is going to jive in there. There goes the flay that puts the slowdown immediately. Gangplank is destroyed from the fight. Now they turn their attention onto Darius. He's the next one, but the rest of the members of the community back away. It's a bit difficult to follow because there's action everywhere. They do manage to get onto him. The fling is going to be available in 3 seconds time, but the hook lands into Caitlyn, pushes himself forward. The stun manages to lock him down as well. There comes the flash forward as well. The flame onto Needly. The Riot member number 3 tries to run, but the Nimbus strike plus auto attack from Misfortune shuts them down. 4 members dead once again. This game is finished. This game is done. It is only a matter of time. How many more kills will the community members pick up against the Riot team? This has been a slaughter. 405 Wukong, 509 Anivia. But my word, Thresh, what a monster. 4-1-13 in this matchup. There's simply no way to explain how just insanely good that is. Tearing apart the community members. I don't think they've fought against a Thresh that has landed this many hooks. The Thresh Prince of Bel Air is going to have to change to the Thresh Prince of Italia. The Roman players putting on a good show, yeah. We'll see them carry on going forward. I'm just going to stick with Thresh because he's been the danger man. He's been the exciting one to watch. The interesting pick for me has, of course, been Volibear in this game because he went that support role. I wonder if he just forgot to take Smite or if there was some miscommunication coming out from the community members of Riot because they simply did not have a jungle number 1. And then they just decided that their game plan was to feed the community, feed their opponents as much as they possibly could. So, good game, exciting to watch, but very, very one-sided. So, 25-3, 30,000-17. Javelin Toss does deal some good damage to Misfortune. If there was a little bit more duration on that particular Javelin Toss, it probably would have hit even harder. But for the time being, that is not the case. We're going to go over to, and where is Anivia? That's Anivia. I got to find the right button. The stun manages to land. He's so low. I cannot believe they got away. Unfortunately, the players, they haven't joined in the order that I prefer, which is, top, jungle, mid. So I'm flicking to the wrong champion on my keyboard shortcuts. So I do apologize about that. I will make sure I'm well practiced for the grand final here of the League of Legends event in Italy. This is, of course, the launch event. And right now, the Italian players, they are the ones stomping face. We're going to jump up to Anivia. Sinch is going to aggressive onto Darius. They're going to carry on chasing. The flash comes out. And unfortunately, because the fling had already been used, there was nothing else that Sinch can do. He's going to decide to just stick onto this top lane turret. Boots of Swiftness have been completed. He's obviously maxing out his poison trail. So that's the next tower to fall. They jump over to Needly. Where is she? Trying to run away. The goo comes down. The mega adhesive going to slow him down in place. Wait for the fling. But a well-timed leap pushes him to safety. Volibear is starting to sneak around. Let's see if they go aggressive or not. Thresh all the way down in the bottom river. Misfortune in the middle and then Flick does come down onto Needly. Is a cyclone going to get used from Wukong? That's the question. There comes the bullet time. We're going to stick with this middle lane fight. Try and frame this as best as I can. Javelin Toss comes down. They start grouping up. The death sentence lands. So Darius is the first to fall. The fling comes back from Caitlyn. Now Volibear tries to fling Sinch. It's a flinging of flingers. And they're going to carry on chasing. Volibear's passive kicks in, but it's not going to be enough to survive that number strike. One more lash from the death sentence closes it out. And absolutely everybody manages to pick themselves up. An ace. It's an eliminazione coming out for the Italian team. Community members 5-1, and they eliminazione the members of Riot Games. That is the Italian term from what I have been told, and I believe that's not how you meant to say it, but you know what? That's how I say it. Just really, really good performance all around. Everything they are doing is just netting them kill after kill after kill. Wukong and Thresh are going to do the best they can to pick up this dragon. It shouldn't give them too much trouble. Unfortunately, the Wriggles Lantern not giving too many procs this time for Wukong. Finally, towards the end, he gets himself a little bit. And they just extend that gold lead even further. Take a look at the gold value on the bottom of your screen. 5,116 on Thresh. 7,000 gold. The support member of the community team has more gold than the richest member of the Riot team right now. It is a very, very one-sided game. It has been very exciting to watch. I want to see where our community member number 1, Misfortune, goes with his build. Infinity Edge completed first, then picked up a BF sword as well as the Berserker's gloves. So the Vamp Scepter's in there as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Bloodthirster being picked up, but a little bit interesting to see that extra 400 gold has been spent on gloves instead of going for, just saving for the BT straight up. So that's going to be an interesting one. Outside of that, the boots of swiftness have been the only real sort of standout item. It's a little bit different, and of course Darius going for that Aegis of the Legion, but it's because he's feeling the pressure. It's because he wants to make plays happen and he's unable to right now. So at least if he can try balance out the gold for the rest of his team, that could help. We're going to follow Thresh as he comes in. There goes the box. Needley's been caught, Flay pulls them back. Death Sentence is available. Even manages to catch with the Death Sentence. Needley's going to be the first to fall. Now they turn their attention over Darius. He's going to go down to the Cyclone most likely. A flash forward comes out. Going to be enough to shut down Caitlyn before anything happens. Finally Darius goes down. Now they're going to turn down onto Volibear. Carries on chasing. Volibear goes down. Eliminazione again. Another ace. A complete eliminazione. I mean, wow. There's no other way to describe it. It is just wow indeed. Inhibitor is now being chunked down 2000 HP. They've got minions pushing up into this top lane. I imagine they're just going to roll around. 10 seconds on the clock. 4 members of Team Riot. I wonder if they're going to go aggressive for this one or not. We'll try and pull the Riot Games members into frame and see where they go with their build. The rest of the community members continue putting the pressure onto the Nexus turrets, and they can do it. The Death Sentence flies out. Doesn't manage to catch anybody out though, unfortunately. If that had landed, you have to feel they would have gone in on it. With that cooldown reduction from his Ionian Boots of Lucidity, community member number 4 has the box available again. Let's have a look at the cooldown. It is 96 seconds, so it will be up very, very shortly. Minutes and a half between fights, and it is a very powerful ultimate indeed. Cyclone almost there as well. Couple seconds left on Wukong. We do see Darius coming up from behind. He's gone aggressive, but there's 5 members of Riot against a 4 other community team. The first to fall is Darius. They were outnumbered in this engagement, and now Anivia has joined the party. How much of a difference is this going to make? The focus was on Darius, but in the background, Volibear just got exploded. His passive did nothing. They do manage to pick up another kill onto Singe, so another killing spree bonus going the way of Needly. Double kill coming out for Anivia. Can they get the triple? The hook comes out, manages to go to Wukong instead, and with the death timers and super minions, they're going to carry on chasing. Back-to-back aces here for the community team. They are destroying members of Riot. 40 kills to 6. I am embarrassed for my own team right now, and they have just been decimated. As the Nexus gets turned on, they may have enough to finish this one out. They're going to carry on fighting. There's the Nexus HP on the bottom of your screen. How much pressure can they put down? Volibear comes in, but he only tosses the clone. The decoy of Wukong has gone out. That did nothing. That didn't slow them down. Continue pressure on the Nexus. They've got it down to 4,000 HP, and the ultimate from Gangplank comes down actually, just to try and farm up the minions. Riot member number 2's got that frozen matter completed, and that is it. There are no other items to write home about or talk about. Thresh just giving himself a good laugh right now. Minions managing to secure the bottom lane turret, and a massive wave of minions is there. There's going to be a lot of gold going into the back pockets of Darius and the rest of the members of Riot. It's desperately needed gold, but with a 20,000 gold lead, you would need a monumental fall, a monumental fail to lose this game. The gap is just so insurmountably large right now. There is nothing that Riot can do. It is a matter of time. We did see the community members setting themselves up for a Baron, so I imagine they're going to want to pick Baron up and then move in onto the Nexus and pick themselves up some, the final game-winning move there. But it is entirely up to them, because they don't even need it, to be honest. They simply need to pick a fight. Shirelia's Reverie, as well as the Giant's Belt, has now been completed for Thresh. We're going to stick with this middle lane because this is where the team is coming from. He's just moving in shot. Remember number 4. The new Thresh Prince, Edward, has a challenger. Up in the top lane, Singe has gone aggressive. He's gone against 2,500, nearly 3,000 HP. They're still sitting in his back pocket. He's tanking up such a huge amount, and the team actually flings Caitlyn to safety. That's a troll if ever I've seen one. The first one to fall is going to go to the Anivia Conduct. Now turning onto the rest of the team. Actually gets flung into the laser, but it's not going to be enough. The stun in the background plus the poison is enough to kill Gangplank though. Volibear's passive is ticking through the damage. Is just not going to be enough, and they've completely shut them down. Down now. We're going to follow Needly. Try and put some damage down. The Thresh Prince is chunking away, and the Nexus is being destroyed. 1,000 HP. 43-6. Community members destroying Team Riot. And there's not a lot more you can say about that. It is just GG's all around. Take a look at the final game scores there, ladies and gentlemen. 10-3-16 Misfortune, 9-1 23 Thresh, a 0 death Wukong, and a 0 death Nivea. That was a game to watch, and what a game it was. I believe that next up on stage we will be having some cosplay, but I imagine we're going to be jumping to some chats with the teams, chats with the players. And, it was just a completely one-sided affair indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to mute my mic very, very shortly. And we'll be back in just a moment to talk to you, introduce the cosplayer section.
Ricordate il vostro nome e il champ che avete giocato adesso.
Cristina Misfortune.
Applauso.
Gigi Nidali.
Applauso lo stesso anche per te.
Jacopo Anivia.
Grande, un applauso.
Irag con Wukong. Singed. Thresh.